Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff has said he thinks there is potential for exciting scenarios to play out if Christian Horner remains at Red Bull. It's almost 2 weeks since Red Bull GmbH called off their internal investigation into Christian Horner following allegations regarding his behavior as team boss of Red Bull Racing, but the fallout from the situation has continued to create speculation and headlines over the intervening weeks. With Horner having the public support of the shareholders at Red Bull, there appears to be little danger of the long-term team boss parting ways with the company despite the turmoil of recent months. But the situation hasn't completely cooled, with Jos Verstappen calling for Horner's job and warning the team risks exploding if he stays in charge. Over the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend, Red Bull motorsport consultant Helmut Marko revealed he couldn't rule out himself from being suspended, as Red Bull's own investigations into events are carried out. It led Max Verstappen to come out with very public support for Marko, as the Dutch driver made his position clear that without Marko's involvement at Red Bull, his own involvement would be in doubt. As it stands, Red Bull continues with the same people in the same jobs, with the only investigation underway being an internal process to discover the source of anonymous media leaks. Speaking to Austrian publication OE24, Mercedes Toto Wolff believes that Horner's continuing at the helm of Red Bull could lead to changes in personnel at the team. "I'm just saying if Horner stays, there are exciting scenarios," Wolff said. When asked about suggestions Verstappen could join Mercedes, ultimately, it's all about the Horner personnel. But as I said, I only read about what happens internally at Red Bull in the media. As for what Wolff thinks of the ongoing drama surrounding Mercedes' rival team, the Austrian said, "From the outside, we get a lot of drama. But for a team like Red Bull, a situation like this is not great." Wolff is one of the high-profile names that has called for greater transparency into the findings of Red Bull GmbH's investigation into Horner, with no details having been made public, and he said that silence has resulted in the various speculative rumors that have enveloped the F1 team ever since. "We live in a very transparent world. If you don't say something, it only becomes more interesting. That leads to more questions, more stories, and more speculation." Wolff pointed out the important issue of an employee deciding to go to Red Bull in Austria to air grievances against Horner, and asked, "Why hasn't this been discussed yet?" In addition, there is an information strategy that looks a bit confusing from the outside. "I think the Austrians are professional. In England, they try to keep everything small, but that's no longer possible these days.